What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon466cards, and today is a follow-up video on the video I made a couple months back talking about ideas for using all of these slabs that are being made right now, because there's about a million and a half slabs being made every month. Eventually, over time, a bunch of these slabs are not gonna be worth a lot of money. And so what ideas are out there to use these slabs in some way to prevent them from ending up in the landfill, because there's so many of them? And for whatever reason, partially actually because of Dustin, the sports card dad, thanks to him, shout out to him for mentioning this video. But once he did that, somehow this video got in the YouTube algorithm and off we went to the races, and surprised me, it got over 10,000 views. And that's where we're at when I'm recording this video. So as a result of that, got a lot of views, got a lot of comments. And so I want to talk over the best comments from this video in terms of ideas for what to do with these slabs. So the first one is courtesy of someone named Jazambi. He says, I'm a Packers fan. I would happily use rival teams' junk players as drink coasters, maybe even his own favorite team players as coasters to keep a theme of a man cave. And that way you can remember these players, right? So he's a Packers fan. So if I'm a Packers fan, maybe buy a Leroy Butler, remember him from the 90s, Leroy Butler slab. You get a SGC 8. Right now it's on eBay, $15 Canadian, and they're open to accepting offers. So that's one option, right? You could buy these very cheaply, and they serve as your coaster, reminds you of your favorite team. The other option he mentioned is just go for pure comedy and get junk players from rival teams. So you're a Packers fan, you hate the Bears, maybe you get a Cade McNown slab to put your drink on to remind you of all the times that the Bears started this really mediocre quarterback. And again, this one you can buy for $10 off of eBay, right? And so at some point these prices might go down further. Is that a good idea? And these are actually pretty good ideas, but the question I have for you is, would you choose someone from your favorite team or a very bad player from your rival teams, right? So does Zambi go with the Leroy Butler, or does he make a mockery of the Bears and choose a Cade McNown slab? I think I would lean towards the Leroy Butler and then just get some of those legendary players from my favorite team and have them kind of live on in my man cave as a coaster. But would love to hear your thoughts. Are you leaning your favorite team, or are you leaning for comedy on your rival teams to remind yourself of when they did not play very well and start very good players? So that's the first idea. The second idea, and again, shout out to Jazambi here for the comment. Second idea is not something I expected to hear about at all, but there was actually more than one comment about using them for bathrooms. One person says that they're going to use them as tiles for their bathroom. I don't know whether or not they'd be sealed properly, or are you talking about the wall? I'm thinking you mean that for the floor. Not sure that that's such a good idea. The second idea comes from Tony Hamilton, 9764. He's got the long comment here. Thank you for the comment. The part that matters the most is the one in red. If you can't read it, I mean, I don't even know if you want to read it, but here we are. He says, let's embed them in the urinals. And so I guess that's the thought you could have. Pick players that you've hated, and if you own a restaurant, you own some kind of public washroom of some sort, maybe you have a restaurant, maybe you have business or whatever, I don't know. So I think what you do is, first of all, add ice to the urinals, because it's always fun to pee in ice in urinals. Maybe that's just me. And then you pick a universally hated player. So I think Bill Laimbeer from the 80s, part of the Bad Boy Pistons, I think got a lot of enemies from the Celtics in the 80s, and also probably from the Bulls fans in the 80s. So maybe you get a Bill Laimbeer slab right here, right? I was a Minnesota Vikings fan when I was a kid, so I hated the Packers and I hated Brett Favre because he was always so dominant. And it's always, obviously that's been 20 years since he played, or close to 20 years since he's played for them, and since when he was in his prime. but I don't think it's just Viking fans that might not like him. I think things that have happened in the last few years might have a bunch of other people not liking Brett Favre. So maybe we have a Brett Favre card here. And again, and you have them underneath the ice in the urinal, and you just kind of like piss on them, like literally. So that is a very unique idea from Tony Hamilton 9764. Shout out to you for the comedy there. But it's not the worst idea I've heard, actually. I don't know how many of these slabs that you could have, but it's interesting, isn't it? It's definitely not something I thought about. And the last idea that I heard, and I think it's the funniest comment that I had in the whole comment section, was RDJ3 video. He says, hand them out to kids at Halloween. I'm like, oh, that's great. You get kids in the hobby. It's a way to get low end slabs in the kids' hands, and then the kids start looking at them, maybe they get a little bit interested, and that's how you get new kids in the hobby. Of course, until a dad complains that you only gave his kid a PSA 8. So shout out to RDJ3 video for this funny comment. This actually did give me quite a chuckle. So that's a video. That's the video. It's a short one, just recapping some of the best comments from this video. I'll link to the original video below. As we always do on this channel, we preview the next one, and next time I'm going to talk about why I visit Vault every week. And I've had a few videos now that talked about Vault not necessarily in the best light. So it's okay to also say they're doing something interesting and good. And I'm going to talk about that next week. So thank you, as always, for listening and watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Cheers.